Hello friends, in the previous video we learned about conditional statements where a program makes their own decisions. But many times we need to repeat the same tasks again and again. To solve this problem, Python provides a concept called loops. So in this video we will understand for loop and while loop with the theory and the practical approaches as well and see how they exactly works in Python. Let's right now understand what are exactly the loops in Python. A loop means executing the same block of code multiple times. If we need to print something 10 times, instead of writing line 10 times, we can use the concept of a loop in Python. Loops make the code shorter, cleaner, and more reliable. Let's right now talk about the first loop statement, that is for loop statement. A for loop is used when we already know how many times we have to loop sometimes something in the code. So basically for the same I have shown a small code of snippet over here, like I have write for I in range 5 and I am using a print function to print the I values in the nested conditions. So basically what I'm performing over here, let me try to explain to you right now. Here I'm using the range function in bracket 5. Means exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm putting a range like number 0 to till 4 number. So Python first assign I as 0 and print it. Then I becomes 1, then 2, then 3 and then 4. Once the range is finished, the loop stop automatically. All the value which we print in the print function that will get one by one in the sequential format. So this is how the for loop works in Python. And for the same, I have shown in the practical view as well, in the latter view, with the detailed evaluation of using the for loop. Let's right now talk about the for loop with a practical approach as well. I have already opened a Python window over here and already created a file and a commit over here as well. Now let's right now talk about them here in the practical way as well. So I'm writing a small code of snippet right now. Just bear with me. I will explain the code in line by line with the step-by-step approach as well. So basically, if I want to use a for loop in Python code, then a for keyword is reserved in Python that we can use to use the for loop. So I'm using the for, and then as the we are working on the loops, so I want to store some value. So need to define some variable over here in the for loop that I can store the value of any execution. So I'm using a variable like val, and then I'm using the in keyword, and then I'm using the range function. Just bear with me, I will explain what that exactly a range function is. And then I want to, after iteration, I want to print that value which I have already stored using the val variable. Okay, so see, this is the simple code that we can use for the for loop. What I'm doing exactly over here, I want to print the number start from 0 to 9. You will get in one question in your mind that why from 09? Why not from 1 to 10? Okay, so basically when we use the loop statements in Python, the indexing means the start point will always start from 0. So that's why even though I print a like keep a value as in 10 over here, it will start index from 0 and till the point 9 like end index, it will execute the code. If I save the code for you and try to run it for you, so see the output is 0 to 9. You have to see like how this is coming across right now. So in PyCharm, there is one feature that we can use it, a debug mode. So if I print keep a debug mode on this line, and as I've already opened a specific file, I choose a drop down as a current file, and there is an icon called a debug. So if I click this icon, then see something is happening behind the scene, and some conditions are get enabled. Sorry, some features get enabled for us. So basically, if I want to see how this execution is happening line by line over the code, so then I can check by using this step over arrow. If I click this right now and check the console tab, here it will print. It goes inside the the for loop statement and use the print statement. So if I click, till the time I click it, it will execute the value one by one. Till the time it get last value get print, and then it will get executed from the loop. So basically this how the loop for loop exactly works in Python. This is the simple way that we have used it right now. But for a complex application or the complex task, if suppose I want to take another example over here, among this number which I have like print over here from 0 to 9, I just only want to perform or like print the even number from this list. So I can put a conditional statement by using the if condition like val and that mathematical expression to evaluate the even number. I'm just doing the modulus division operation on the specific value that is printed over here. So after this evaluation, it will only print the even numbers for me. Let me just still run in the debug mode and show you how the code exactly works and show the outputs. So see, first value will get 0, then 2, then 4, then 6, and then 8. Then after 8, it will stop the code and exit it from that. See, see this how it printed the exact output. So this how we can use the for loop over the specific iteration. If we know already, then we can use it in the Python code. Let's right now see some of the more details about the for loop conditional statement. A for loop is not only used for the numbers to iterate. We can use it along with the list, string, or any iterable object. Here I have shown a small code of snippet over the screen. I have write like fruits equals to apple, banana, and cherry. And then I'm using the for loop over here to iterate over the each object of a list. Like I am using for fruits in fruits, and then I'm using the print function to execute the each object from the list. So this is how we can use the for loop to iterate the list, string, and other type of iterable objects. So this is how exactly works in Python using the for loop. Let's right now see in more detail about for loop, how it exactly works along the list data type and a string data type. I will write a small code of snippet over here, and then I will explain how it exactly works. So I am defining a one variable over here like fruits, and then I'm putting some values like apple, banana, and cherry over here. So if you want to define a list, then we can use this square bracket over here. Now I want to print all these element one by one, one after another in the sequential manner. So if I use the print statement, then it will be manually tasks to do, but for that I can use a for loop statement. So if I want to print it, then I know if I want to print or execute a for loop, then at that time we can use the for keyword. And as we are going to iterate over the fruits, we need to use some variables to store the value of fruits. As this we are iterating over the specific list data type over here. Right now, I'm using a variable called v in fruits. Then I can print that value as in over here. Not this one, it is auto suggested. Save here. So one by one, I'm using the value of variables, and then I'm printing by using the loop. So if I execute the code right now over here, see, I get apple, banana, and cherry in the sequential format. So this is how we can use a for loop along a list type of data type if you want to use it. So this is how we can use it. So if in the similar manner, if I talk about the string data type, let me just put a comment over here for this to avoid a confusion. I can use another variable name is equals to Python. Okay. As we already know, if we define any value in a single quote and a double quote, then it is treated as an string data type. So here also I can use the for loop over here. If I use a for loop again over here at the name, and then I want to print a letter. Specifically, not a letter, it is like auto-defined, auto-generated from ID. I use the L variable over here, and I can use that L to print it. So basically, when I'm iterating using the for loop over this name variable as like a string data type, it will print a character line by line, each character on one line. So if I save the code right now and try to execute it, see it print P, Y, T, H, O, N one by one on the line. So this is how we can use the for loop along the list and the string type of data type in Python. So this is a simple example that I have shown to you right now for a demonstrating of how to we can use it, but we can use in the better complex solution or the code as well. Let's right now talk about the while loop statement among the loop statements. A while loop run as long as run the condition remains true. Here we must manually make the condition false. And for the same, I have demonstrated a small code of snippet over the screen. Just look out over the screen right now. I will explain the code. I have write count equal to 0 while count is less than 5, and then I'm using the print function to print the respective count. Then after printing, I use the count variable to increment it by 1. So I perform as the operation over here to increment it by 1. Once the count become 5 over here, the condition turn to false and loops stops over here. And for the same, I have like explained a practical example in the later view as well. We will see how it exactly works in Python. Let's right now talk about the while loop as well right now and see it how exactly it works in Python. So I will write a small code of snippet over here and then I will explain how it exactly works and executes the code. So I'm writing a small code over here, like I'm using a variable C and assigning a value as in 0 over here. Then if I want to use a while loop in the Python code, then I can use the while keyword. Then as we already know that there is no such way that we can predict the limit if we are going to use the while loop. As that time only we can use the while loop over here, as we don't know the limitation of iteration where we are going to perform. But certain time we can also put a specific condition till that time we can execute the code. So here I'm checking one condition less than 5 and I'm using the print function to print the value of a C, and after that step by step I want to increment the value as well. So I'm using C plus equals to 1. So C, this is the small code of while loop. Let me just try to explain to you. Then before explanation, let me just demonstrate a small result over here. Then I will explain the things over here, how it exactly works. So if I execute the code right now, see, it print 0 to 4. So how it exactly print, uh, let me show you by an debugger way that you will get things in better clarity. So see, once I like click a debugger icon over here, it started the execution. Like it checks the while loop conditions over here. Firstly, the C value is 0 over here. 0 is less than 5. Yes, it is less than 5. So it go inside and print the C value like it is 0. Then it will go incremented by 1. Then it again goes to the while loop and check the another value, that is 1 is less than 5. Yes, it is, so it will print till the time it getting satisfied with the condition. It will print the values and then after it will exit from the code. So this is how we can use a while loop keyword along the Python code to execute the condition at that time when we don't have a clarity about the specific range or a limitation at what interval we have to run the code. Then we can use in this way the while keyword to run the looping conditions in the code. Let's right now talk about the infinite loops and the loop control in Python. If the condition in a while loop is not written correctly, it can create an infinite loop. An infinite loop means the loop never stops to execute the code. To control this behavior of a code, we normally use the break and the continue statement. And for the same, I have shown a small code of snippet over the screen. And overview I want to explain over here. Later we will see the practical approaches for the same as well. Here on the screen I have write I equal to 0 while condition is true. I'm printing the I over inside a while loop. Then I'm using a comparison operator double equals to, if I is equals to 5, then I'm breaking the condition at certain stage. Then I'm also incrementing the value of I by 1. So basically, whenever the certain condition is matching inside a loop, at that time, the break keyword will forcefully stop the execution of the loop and code will not execute from there. So this is an overview over here right now. Later we will see in the practical approach as well. Let's right now understand the infinite loop and the loop control statement in the loops. So I'm going to write a small code of snippet over here. Just bear with me. I will explain the thing, how this infinite loop and loop control exactly works in loops. So I'm writing a code over here right now. I'm using I variable as I want to assign as in 0 to I. Then I want to use a while loop over here to show the demonstration over the loop, how it goes in the infinite and how the loop control works. So I'm using the while keyword and then I'm using a true flag, a denoted flag over here that I want to check a true condition. So specifically that's why I'm using the true flag. Then I want to print the value of I. So I'm using the print function. Then I'm also want to compare something over these certain things, so that I want to print certain values only. So I'm using a if statement. If I equals to 5, then just break the loop and execute it. And also I want to increment the value of I as in 1 by 1. So see, I know that you are getting confused that what is this break, what is this true, and how the code is executing. Just be here with me, I will explain the things right now. So see, uh, let me just explain the first concept, that is infinite loop. So see, if I'm using a while loop keyword over here and somehow we make some mistakes while defining the while loop code block. At that time, like here I make a mistake, like if I not print this, use this condition to check a specific thing, then directly I execute that loop over here. So basically, the loop doesn't know that where we have to stop. So it will run in the infinite stage over here. If I save the code and demonstrate the thing to you, see, the code is running in the infinite loops. So that how we have to make sure when we are using a loop, while loop specifically, at that time we have to specify a certain condition. If we don't specify a certain condition, then it goes into the infinite loops. So like here, if I want to stop it right now, we can simply press Ctrl C. So it created a keyword interruption over here and it breaks the code. So make sure if you are using the while loop, then make sure you use a certain condition inside it. Okay. So this is how the infinite loops condition seems to be working in loops. Now let's talk about the loop control. Okay. Now see, as I am iterating over the while loop using a while loop specifically from 0 to till the 1 by 1 incremental value. But here I use a conditional statement where I'm checking if I is equals to 5, means the value of I I'm comparing with the 5 value, and at that time if it is matches, then I'm using a break keyword. A break keyword is used in the loop when you want to stop at certain conditions. So basically what I'm saying over here, like if suppose I want to iterate till 3 or like 3 over here, then I can use this and try to iterate execute the code. See it, this time it print 0 to 3 only. Why exactly? It iterate the object one by one and print the value of I, then compare the value of I with the value 3, and then once it matches the value as 3, then it breaks the loop. So break keyword is the keyword in Python when we want to perform certain hand over controls over the loops, that where we have to start, where we have to stop in the loops, that we can decide by using the break keyword. So this how the break keyword will help us to control the loop. So this is the thing that we have discussed over right now, the infinite loop and loop control in the Python along with the while loop. So friends, today we clearly understood Python for loops and the while loops and also perform them practically as well. Loops are the backbone of any programming language. So in the next video, we will explore break, continue and pass statement and see them exactly how it works in Python. If you found this helpful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon. Stay tuned